Hey guys, how you doing here today? It's David Lucas back here again. Welcome back to my channel. So guys, we are here finally now at the home stretch, guys. We are finally here at the home stretch of the Batman reviews. We are literally just 1 week away, guys. 1 week away from seeing the Batman. And if you guys don't know already that I got an early screening preview in some places around in America and the United States, they have special previews going on, and I got chances to get tickets, and me and a couple of my friends were going to go see it on Tuesday, a few days before the actual release of the movie. So it's almost like a dream. Like, it's literally about to happen. I'm about to see the Batman after 5 years of anticipation. I'm about to see the Batman. All that means, guys, is that we have to start kicking in gear with the Batman review, guys, because right now we literally have 1 week left, and we have 2 videos we gotta do. So, guys, remember the last video that literally just dropped on my channel? I know I'm gonna be posting these last 3 very close together because we fell a little bit behind, but we gotta push them together because we gotta finish up these reviews before the Batman actually comes. And now that I'm actually seeing it early, we just gotta kick it in full gear now. So, guys, we are finally here at what the fans. Now, if you guys remember my last video, I said my favorite Batman live action movie as of right now is Batman Begins. But this movie now is the actual fan, loving Batman movie. The Batman movie that everyone loves. Everyone kind of basically says is the greatest comic book movie ever made, some people say. That movie is, of course, The Dark Knight. Yes, guys, The Dark Knight, which is, again, like I said, considered to be one of the best comic book movies ever made. We are finally here, guys, again, at the home stretch of the Batman movies. The Dark Knight, again, being directed by Christopher Nolan, and again, starring Christian Bale as the sequel to Batman Begins. And this is the movie that basically introduced us to the late and great Heath Ledger's Joker. So if you guys know how my videos go, I usually start out with the good and then I get on to the bad. And yes, guys, I do have some problems with this movie. Like I said, this isn't necessarily my favorite Batman movie. I do love this movie. I think it's a great movie. I think, it's made perfectly good, but we'll get into what my thoughts on this movie is. We'll get into my thoughts, but of course, guys, I have usually start out with the good and then I go on to the bad. So of course, let's start out with the good, guys. Now, right off the bat, guys, the opening of this movie, I gotta say, is so catching and it's so thrilling and it's so intense, and it puts you on the edge of your seat. The whole bank robbery opening scene where you have all the guys dressed as the Joker clowns all around, and then you have that one guy that you're following throughout the whole thing, and then it turns out to be the actual Joker. And in all, I just still remember seeing that scene for the very first time and being like, whoa, like this isn't, because you don't think that's the Joker right there, because we don't see what the Joker looks like yet as the movie goes on, so we don't know who that guy is. We think maybe he's just some bank robber that we're following, the henchman of the Joker throughout all this, and maybe they're gonna meet up with the Joker at the end or something. But no, that is the Joker in there, and I like how we have a little bit, just the overall how that scene goes with the guys, talking crap about the Joker while he's around and all. It just, to me, it was literally like a perfect opening scene to a Batman movie. And again, a very different opening that I liked and I enjoy a lot. Now, again, just like with Batman Begins, this movie has such great cinematography, I think, done in this movie. It's really, Christopher Nolan just shot this movie so beautifully. It is done so good, and it just looks like a nice Christopher Nolan movie. It probably is his best looking movie. I think this and Inception are maybe his best looking movies. Just how it overall look and cinematography, just excellent. Even the theme, too. I love the whole theme, the Batman theme going on here, and the Joker theme, just all the whole theme. Every single person's theme in this movie, I think, is done so good. It's maybe one of my best themes to any Batman movies as of right now, again. The themes in these are so good. Also, really like, too, how we get, in the very beginning, when we see Batman, appear for the first time, and you have, the Son of Batman reference when The Dark Knight Rises and stuff. I, think that is really cool. But also that Scarecrow comes back. Cillian Murphy as Scarecrow is back, and I like the way how he brings him back. To me, it feels like a perfect way of world building. Is honestly probably one of the best world buildings I think that you can do, with just bringing him in there, having just a quick little scene of him, doing whatever, on drugs, committing a crime or whatever, then have Batman come and save the day and then take off his mask and then turn him back into, to the jail, Arkham or whatever. And I like how, again, we get him coming back in the other one too, and I just like it. I like seeing that world building, seeing how, like, yeah, he's a villain that's been around for a while, you know, because the last time we seen him wasn't Batman Begins when he got electrocuted and ran off on the horse. So it's really cool to see him back again and see that whole nice world building that that Christopher Nolan did a little bit. Now, I kind of wish he did a little bit more of the world building, but I like the little bit of hints that he put of it in there, and I think I appreciate that for what he did to do it. And I gotta say too, with him as Batman and Bruce Wayne, I actually really much prefer his Bruce Wayne in this movie. I actually prefer Bruce Wayne over his Batman, Christian Bale's. I don't know why I almost call him Christopher Bale, but Christian Bale's Bruce Wayne in this, I actually really do like. You know, we get a whole bunch of different interpretations of Bruce Wayne here and there, and I wasn't really that much a fan of a Michael Keaton Bruce Wayne because I felt like he was just too much Michael Keaton. But this, Christian Bale does put himself into the role, and he does give off that billionaire, playboy, you know, philanthropist type of role, which, you know, Bruce Wayne is. The mask of Bruce Wayne, at least, is. And he does give that off. He does understand the character. Well, at least he understands how the character is supposed to be like. And I do appreciate that. I do really enjoy Bruce Wayne. I like his look of Bruce Wayne. I just do. I think him as Bruce Wayne is always so enjoyable to watch. And now, who is really the big standout in this whole movie is, without a doubt, Heath Ledger Joker. Now, I know everybody says that Heath Ledger is the best Joker and all that. I don't think he is the best Joker. In my opinion, the best Joker is Joaquin Phoenix, and then Jack Nicholson, and then Heath Ledger. But, that being said, he's incredible in this role. Like, he's just incredible. What he does with the role, the way how he interprets the Joker. It kind of, you know, it is different from the comic books. Like, he is not the Joker from the comics, but at the same time, he is. And at the same time, they did take, like, a little bit of what the Joker was in the comic books, like, a little bit of his ideals, and they put that in here. But overall, he was a different character from the comic books. But that being said, Heath Ledger's performance, just his performance alone as an actor performing a role, it's incredible. Like, it's in my opinion, I know it might be exaggerating, but it's up there as a top 10, top 20 best performances of all time. Because it just, what he does, you don't think that's Heath Ledger. Like, he literally is not Heath Ledger now. I remember growing up, and I remember looking at that, and looking at pictures of Heath Ledger, and then looking at the Joker, and I was like, how does this look like? This is not the same person. His voice was so different. His mannerisms, his eye, like, everything about him it's not Heath Ledger. Like, that was the Joker. And it's just what he did with that role is just absolutely incredible. And there's not much more what I can say about that because everybody has talked about him as a Joker to length. I also really like Aaron Eckhart's Harvey Dent in here. I think, well, if you guys remember from the last time we saw Harvey Dent and Two-Face was when we saw him in Batman Forever, which, yeah, I have appreciation for that movie. But I did not like that Two-Face as Harvey Dent by Tommy Lee Jones. Just no. Now we are getting Aaron Eckhart's version. And now what I can say is that I will get into a little bit of my criticisms with this, because I do have some criticisms with this side of it, but I'll get into that a little bit later. But what I can say that I do like about it is just how Aaron Eckhart portrayed Harvey Dent. How he was Gotham's White Knight. How he was trying his best to do the right thing and just to be the best person possible for Gotham and turn the city around. But he just keeps failing and failing and failing to the point to where the Joker corrupts him. And the Joker basically is like, hey, look at you now. Look how everything you've done. And then it kind of, which is an amazing scene, by the way. And then he becomes Two-Face. And I like that a lot. I liked how they did that. Yes, again, he was very different from the comic books, but I did like what they did. I liked a little bit what they did. And I will get into my criticism with it later on. But as of a performance and as his interpretation of Two-Face and Harvey Dent, I loved it. I loved Aaron Eckhart's performance in those two. And, of course, again, I just got to give a big shout-out to Gary Oldman as Gordon. Like, Gary Oldman as Gordon, he's perfect. At this point, for right now, at this point, we're going to see Jeffrey Wright in a little bit. But Gary Oldman is my favorite Gordon right now. And I do like J.K. Simmons, too, and I can't wait to see more of J.K. Simmons because I really like his Gordon, too. But Gary Oldman has a special place in my heart as Gordon. Like, he is what you would imagine Gordon to be. He is the interpretation of James Gordon that is from the comic books, right from the book. He is great. And yeah, there are more stuff you can do with Gordon, and that's why I'm really excited for Jeffrey Wright's Gordon, because there are so much more that you can do with him. But as like the Gordon that, like, you know, Gary Oldman is just what you would, the spirit of Gordon. He is the spirit of Gordon from year one. If you guys know the comic book Year One, he is the spirit of Gordon from that book. And I just really loved Gary Oldman's performance as Gordon. I loved it in Batman Begins, and even in here, it just signifies because I just loved it. And of course, too, you can't forget about Michael Caine's Alfred. It's the same thing, like I said, in Batman Begins. He is that good Alfred that gives off good inspiration and gives off good quotes and just kind of helps out Bruce, you know, does his job. Like that whole thing when he was describing that one thing he had when he met that guy who just wanted to see the world burn, and he compared him to the Joker. Love that whole kind of interaction. I love the little bit comedy bites that him and Bruce have together, because that's something I always like with Batman and Alfred, is that they have that like sarcastic wit at each other. And we had that little scene of like him going like, I did bloody tell you. And then when he says, when Alfred says, I suppose they're gonna lock me up, and you know, because I was your accomplice, and then Batman goes, something I tell it was all your idea. Like, that is a classic Alfred and Batman interaction. I like that. Now, one of the best scenes in this movie, and probably one of the best scenes in any film in general, which I just loved, is the Joker interrogation scene. That scene is, I just have to, I know everyone has talked about it, but I just gotta put my little couple cents into it. That scene is incredible. Everything about that, the acting between the two actors, Christian Bale and Heath Ledger, just the overall cinematography, the way how it was shot, the way how the lighting was, everything about that scene, it's literal like cinematic perfection in that scene. And the way how Batman's getting so much angrier and angrier. Now, my one thing that I can say maybe to that scene is that you don't really see that much emotion from Christian Bale. Like his face, you don't really see the anger in his face as much. You really see it more in like his actions. But that being said, it is a great scene all in all less, and I just love it. It's one of the best scenes of all time. You know, what is really great about this film, and I'm going to get into my problems with it, but what is just really great about The Dark Knight is that it is just an overly fantastic, brilliant film. It is a great film. You know, yes, I'm going to get into my problems to how it is as a Batman movie, but as a movie in general, it's perfect. Like, there's honestly not much you can say wrong with this. It has everything that you need. Good villains, good story, good themes, good ways of making the villains feel like, honestly, the heroes, and making the heroes feel like the bad guys. Like, it does that really good, and I just feel like this movie is just a really well-made film. Well, that is it for my good of the movie, guys. And now, let's get on to the part that might piss a lot of people off, but I gotta be honest with you guys. So, let's get on to my negative. Right off the bat, one of my negatives of this movie is that I just don't like the look of Gotham. I think the look of it is just really bad. It doesn't look too good. It's not that it looks bad. It just doesn't look like Gotham. It looks like Chicago, you know? It just looks straight up like Chicago. To me, there's no imagination to it. Gotham doesn't feel like its own character anymore like it did in Batman Begins. It doesn't. It doesn't look like the Gotham that I imagine Gotham to be. It just looks like Chicago. It looks like a more richer, higher class Chicago. And that is a problem I do have. I've always kind of had it with this movie, is that I like the look of Batman Begins Gotham more than this. Negative two is that I'm not that much of a fan of this Batsuit. I know a lot of people love it. To me, it just doesn't look like Batman. It doesn't resemble a Batsuit. It looks like a military suit with bat ears and a cape. And I don't know, I wish it kind of resembled a little bit more like some of the comics. I know afterwards a lot of comics did resemble it, but it just, to me, doesn't look like Batman. I really like the Batman Begins suit. That suit, I said, looks like a bat and resembles a bat, and I like that suit a lot. But this, I don't know. I'm just not that much of a fan of the new bat suit in this, in the Dark Knight bat suit. Now, I did like his Bruce Wayne. I love Christian Bale's Bruce Wayne. But I have problems with this Batman. I don't know, like his Batman, I feel like he doesn't really, I feel like, put as much effort towards the Batman role. I feel like he puts more effort towards a Bruce Wayne role. And I don't really see any effort going into him. Like I said, it's really hard to see like much emotion in his face as Batman. It's his bat voice, I feel like, is just way too over the top. It's full of people. To me, it's too much and too over the top, and I just don't like to. I don't know. It's just, to me, he doesn't feel like Batman in this role, and just his performance as Batman just doesn't. It feels a little bit lazy done. Something too, which I was 50-50 on, that I said I liked a lot, but then had problems with, was the whole Harvey Dent and Two-Face thing. Now, I loved what they did with Two-Face. I loved Aaron Eckhart's performance as Two-Face. Problem with it is that I wish we got more. Like, I really wish we had more. I wish he didn't die at the end. I wish that it didn't. I don't know. It just, to me, I wish we had more of that. I wish it would have maybe stayed in and he became like a character like Scarecrow and world build. But that's my problem again with. I feel like Christian Bale wasn't. Not Matt Christian. But I feel like Christopher Nolan wasn't interested in world building. I feel like he wasn't interested in it all. So I get why he killed him off. But in my opinion, I wish we got a more deeper, more kind of involved, and more longer developed story of Harvey Dent transforming into Two-Face and that split personality concept of Two-Face. That was like a Jekyll and Hyde, how one side is good, the other side is bad. And I wish they delved more into that. But they didn't, and I do like Aaron Eckhart's performance, though, but I just wish they delved more into his performance, into the character of Two-Face / Harvey Dent. One last thing that I gotta say that I didn't like about this movie is that at the end of the day, it didn't feel like a Batman movie. It really didn't. It was kind of like how Batman Returns didn't feel like a Batman movie. It felt like a Tim Burton movie. This feels like a Christopher Nolan movie, rather than feeling like a Batman movie. It just, at times, I almost forget. It's like, oh yeah, it's a Batman movie. Like, it just does not feel like a Batman comic. And yeah, it's trying to take inspiration from Long Halloween, which I have over there. But at the end of the day, it just doesn't really feel like it. It's almost like they just took a couple pictures that they saw in Long Halloween and put it in there. And then the whole Two-Face thing. But at the end of the day, it didn't feel like Long Halloween at all. It didn't have the spirit or feeling of Long Halloween. So it just, to me, it just did not feel like a Batman movie, but it felt like a good Christopher Nolan movie. So guys, that's pretty much it for all my positives and negatives of The Dark Knight, guys. Yeah, guys, I told you, I might get some hate for this because I am a little bit split on The Dark Knight, you know? Basically, my overall thoughts for The Dark Knight is that The Dark Knight is a really well-made movie with great characters, a great story, a great structure, a great pace, great cinematography, great acting, almost all the way around, in my opinion. I think that The Dark Knight does suffer from it feeling like a Batman movie at the end of the day, and I wish they delved more into the Harvey Dent kind of personality and persona and split personality that he has, and delved more into the character and maybe not have killed him off at the end. I also wish that Gotham maybe looked a little bit more like Gotham rather than Chicago, and I just wasn't a fan of the Batsuit. But at the end of the day, this is a fantastically made movie. It is a movie that is up there as a cinematic masterpiece almost. You know, it is a fantastic movie with great performances from Gary Oldman as Gordon, and as Michael Caine as Alfred, and as Heath Ledger as the Joker, and even Christian Bale as Bruce Wayne. They do such a great job, and even Aaron Eckhart too as Harvey Dent and Two-Face. So great job in this movie. And it just, at the end of the day, just doesn't feel like a Batman movie. So, guys, The Dark Knight, I'm going to have to give it, and this is going to maybe piss some people off, but I'm going to have to give it an 8 out of 10, guys. Yes, guys, an 8 out of 10. The Batman Begins, I gave an 8.5 out of 10. This is just a little bit more down from it, not feeling like a Batman movie, so I have to give it an 8 out of 10, guys. So, guys, let me know down in the comments below, and let me know your thoughts on The Dark Knight, guys. Do you like it? Do you don't like it? Let me know down in the comments below, and let me know your thoughts, because I always like to know your guys' thoughts on these stuff, guys. Do you guys agree with me on this opinion? Because I know my opinion might be a little controversial, and maybe, you know, not as with most people's opinions on this, but I'm really like to know your guys' opinion on The Dark Knight. And as always, guys, if you liked this video, make sure you hit a like and subscribe to my channel, because it really helps out a lot. It helps out that algorithm a lot on this YouTube stuff, so please do that, guys. It really helps out a lot to get my videos out there. Of course, guys, until next time, and
why so serious?